Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Last week was an insane week. Most of you will agree that we have not seen that kind of a crazy swing that we had on Thursday since 2008. In this episode, we will start off with a recap of all the three indexes along with what's going on with the VIX. Then we will touch upon three companies that reported earnings which were a highlight from last week: Virgin Galactic, Square, and Baba. Then I will share some short interest data with you for a couple of companies that have changed drastically. Then we'll go ahead and look at some of the upcoming earnings for next week as the earnings season continues. Then we'll look at some of the major catalysts that can swing the market up or down depending upon how it plays out. And lastly, we'll touch upon Facebook's AI event that happened last week as well. If you find any value out of today's video, leave that like, and without further ado, let's dive in. Starting off with a recap of last week, what was the most important point was that we ended the week pretty much at the place where we started the week. From S&P 500, we started the week at 43.92 and we ended the week at 43.84. We did drop all the way to 41.64 on February 24th, and that was due to the uncertainty of Russia invading Ukraine. Once it was official that Russia has invaded Ukraine, there was a little bit of a hiccup in the market, but it recovered to a point where we saw an insane rally in a lot of stocks, especially tech. Nasdaq also had a similar bounce. We started the week at 13,739 and we ended the week at 13,695, so pretty much flat for the week. Dow Jones, exact replica, started the week at 34,362, ended the week at 34,057, just down 0.88%. This is where we saw the big spike in the volatility. We started the week at about 27.85 for the VIX and we ended the week at 27.61, so pretty much flat. But throughout the week we saw this big uncertainty which made the market very volatile, and this was the peak on February 21st at 9:30 a.m. when the VIX went all the way up to 36.79 points, making the Dow plunge almost 800 points on that day. As the uncertainty reduced, we saw a bounce back in the market and a lot of buybacks happened and a rally happened in the tech sector. The volatility still remains high because it's still trading at 27 points. We would like to see the VIX coming down closer to a 20-point mark. At the current levels, market is still unstable and you should invest with caution. So last week we had some major earnings from a lot of companies, but the three companies that really stood out for me was number one, Virgin Galactic, Block, and Baba. And I'll tell you why. So starting off with Virgin Galactic, ticker symbol SPCE, Q4 GAAP EPS of -31 cents. They beat it by 4 cents. The revenue was a miss with 0.14 million versus the expected was 0.3 million. The adjusted EBITDA totaled 65 million in loss compared to only 60 million loss last year, same quarter. Throughout the earnings call, what stood out for me that the company is still targeting the Q4 commercial flight, and that is, I believe, is the make or break for this company. The retail investors have lost a lot of faith in the companies, especially after turn of events which delayed the commercial flight for a long time. From here until Q4, we are expected to see a lot of volatility. So it is a news-based company, which means that whenever the news comes out, the stock moves up or down. So it is very important that if you are a long-term investor in Virgin Galactic, keep that in the back of your mind. However, you can still trade Virgin Galactic like how we ran covered call on Virgin Galactic. If you haven't seen that video, check it out right over here. So currently we have about 10 ratings on TipRank, out of which only 4 are buy, 3 are sell, and 3 are hold. Average price target is about $16.14, which is about 75% upside from here onwards. The problem is the sentiments from the Wall Street hasn't changed much even after this earnings report. So keep that in mind if you're investing in Virgin Galactic. Moving on to Square, they had a stellar earning as well. They missed on the GAAP EPS by 7 cents, but they beat on the revenue. What stood out for me for Block was that the Cash App business Q4, the gross profit was 518 million. It topped the consensus of 502 million, which shows that how quickly the Cash App is becoming one of the integral parts of users from a day-to-day standpoint. And since then, we have seen multiple reiterated buy ratings for Square. There are 27 analysts that are covering Square, and out of which 24 have a buy rating. This is amazing with only 3 hold ratings. Currently, the average price target is about $194.44, which leads to you an upside of about 62% from here onwards. The retail investors are especially very bullish on Square as well. Moving on to Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA. They reported the Q3 non-GAAP EPS of RMB 16.87, which was a beat. The revenue was about RMB's 242.58 billion, which was 9.7% increment year over year. Now, Alibaba is a very debated topic. You have bulls and you have bears. And if you are an investor in Baba, you have to consider the both aspects of this particular company. Now, there is a tremendous growth with Alibaba that you can foresee. However, you also have to recognize the fact that Alibaba is a risky investment because it is a Chinese company. Moving on to some major movements in the short interest of some of the stocks. Number one is Blink Charging, because Blink, almost 42% of the company shares are shorted, which is an extremely high number, especially when Blink reports earnings next week, which we will cover in a little bit later. Next stock on our list is VLDR, which is Velodyne LiDAR System. And this stock we added in our public portfolio for the month of February. If you haven't seen that video, check it out right over here. And lastly, Virgin Galactic is also shorted about 22.83%, with about 8% increase in the short interest in the last week. Okay, moving on to next week's earning. Next week is also going to be a very jam-packed week with some of the major companies which are retail favorites. Starting off with Monday, we have Lordstown Motors reporting earning right before market opens. So if you are a Lordstown Motor investor, something that you should definitely take a look into it. We have Lucid Motors, one of the big companies which is considered as a Tesla rival. So we'll definitely keep an eye on Lucid Motors. We have Zoom and Blink also reporting earnings after close. Now Tuesday is very interesting because right before open, we have Target, one of a major retail companies that is also a dividend paying company, which you can take a look into it if you are investing in dividend stocks. Another Chinese company, Baidu, also reports earning. We have some major hitters that are going to report earning after market close. Number one will be SOFI, and we will be live streaming SOFI right on this channel as well. We also have AMC. So if you follow AMC or have invested in AMC, something you would definitely not want to miss, because as the fundamentals of the company improves, you still have a very high short interest on this company, and folks are still predicting that there would be a mother of all short squeeze, or as they call MOAS. Will the earnings be the trigger, or the regulations that are coming out for transparency will be the trigger? Time will tell. But moving on, we also have Salesforce, one of the major companies from an enterprise standpoint, to be reporting earning as well. Moving on to Wednesday, we have ChargePoint, which will be reporting earning, and we will be doing a live stream on ChargePoint as well. We also have Snowflake and Okta, two other major enterprise-based companies that also should be on your watch list, if not in your portfolio. Thursday, before market open, we have companies like Best Buy, Kroger, BJ's, another Chinese company called Bilibili reporting earnings. We will also have TD Bank that will report earning before market opens. And after market close, we have Costco Wholesale that reports earning, also one of the major dividend paying companies that reports earnings. Alright, so those were the earnings that we are looking forward to for next week. But what are some of the catalysts that are coming up? Well, number one would be the Russia-Ukraine conflict, war, whatever you like to call it. And there are countries, including United States, European Union, Japan, etc., are looking into putting a lot of sanctions on Russia. Number one sanction that is on everyone's mind is the SWIFT sanction that will prevent the Russian banks to use the SWIFT system to send money across. Also, British Petroleum, ticker symbol BP, is divesting all its stake, about 19.75%, from the Russian petroleum company Rosneft. The second catalyst that can drive the EV market up would be the delivery numbers that come out from NIO, Xpeng, and Li Motors. Now, if you invest in any of these companies, which I do as well, I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on the delivery number. However, analysts are predicting that there will be lower numbers because of the Lunar New Year that just happened. And of course, let's not forget that we are still in the middle of the semiconductor shortage and the supply chain issues that are still plaguing a lot of industries, including the EV industry. The third catalyst would be the OPEC meeting that happens this week, because especially in the backdrop of Russia-Ukraine war and oil hitting $100, that is going to be one of the most watched events, and to see what exactly comes out from those meetings, and will the oil prices continue to rise. In order for you to hedge against some of the downside that you may see in the oil market index fund, one of the ways you can do that is through investing in sector ETFs. In 2022, the three sectors that are most likely to gain is the energy sector, financial sector, and healthcare sector. From an energy sector standpoint, there are two ETFs that you should definitely take a look into it. One is the XLE ETF, link is right here, and the second one will be the VDE ETF, link is right over here. And lastly, Facebook had a major event on Metaverse and what are Facebook plans? And here's a short trailer from that event.
There's never been a better time to be building the future. Better connectivity technology that can scale to the entire planet, bringing billions of people online to a faster internet. Nothing in the world is advancing as fast as AI is today. And it's helping us build entirely new computing platforms. From VR headsets to AR glasses, these new platforms will help us share truly immersive experiences and reimagine what it's like to be together, even when we're physically apart. Transforming how we work, play, and connect with the people we care most about. We build these new platforms and technologies with privacy and safety baked in from the very beginning. And it's all being invented here, inside the lab.
So how did you like the trailer? Let me know in the comment section below. But what was important from that event was the change in the concept of how AI will be learning. Facebook is working on AI to have a self-supervised learning. So one of the examples that they talked about in that event was that how in order for the AI to consider an image of a cat would be like they would feed 10,000 images of cat to make the AI learn that this is a cat. However, they want to make the AI learn the same way that our brain learns. You will show them an image of a cat and then eventually ask them to come up with recommendation on what that little image would be. And this is what is going to become the basis of learning for AI for Metaverse, as the Metaverse is going to become a very advanced technology. So I am particularly very bullish on what Facebook is doing. And from this event, I have a little bit more faith in Facebook that they will be able to deliver the next generation of technology in Metaverse. Keeping that in mind, I also think the other companies that are going to gain in Metaverse are going to be companies like Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, and of course you have Roblox. So let me know in the comments which earnings you're looking forward to the most. And if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit the like, click on subscribe, and ring the bell notification. I will see you next time, investor family, but don't forget to invest for tomorrow.